Welcome to Trading with Livevol. This is where I trade my Reg T account, real Reg T account, and I use LVX to trade. This is the LVX software, and you guys can kind of see how I use the software to trade and see track what I do. So let's actually go right to my account. So I'm up a little today. I did some trading in Facebook and SPY and UVXY, and I'll cover that as we go. So let me actually cover Facebook first. As you guys know, I sold that strangle at earnings, the May 62.65 strangle. So I did pretty well on that strangle, but I decided that Facebook was going to hang out around the 63 to 65 range till expiration, so I put on more trades, and it didn't work out too well for me, right? Basically, it went straight down, but I kept it because I had the May, and I thought that it might bounce back. This has not as much to do with the software, even though I do check this and I check the volatility. So you can see the volatility currently is at the 32nd percentile. If you look at this chart, the thing that's of note is after earnings, you see how it dropped, but it actually started going up as the stock dropped, and now it's kind of, leveling off more, right? So the earnings announcement is over, and now basically how the stock moves is how the options are pricing it. But that being said, my thinking was that I'm still bullish, right? So in terms of like where it was going to go, 62, 63, and since I had 3 weeks, I was going to hold it. And when you guys know, if you look at the past one, I had like some like 1/2 because somebody did that spread, and I was trying to do these. I was trying to spread these SEP 65s, May 65 call spread, and stuff like that. So I was doing all kinds of stuff, checking out the order flow, but in the end, like the stock went down, so it didn't really work out for me too well at the time, but now it's kind of bouncing back. And what I was doing was I was basically closing out the shorts today. So if you look at the Facebook, these were just closed, and then I decided to buy 10 of these May 62.5 calls for 76 cents. So they had a pretty good pop today. Why did I buy it? It wasn't like anything specific. It's just that I was looking at this chart. You see how like I was hoping that this 55 would hold. I knew it could have gone down to 50, but looks like it held, at least for now, and then had this little bounce, right? So like you see this like large volume down here, and then it had this bounce, and so I'm thinking it's gonna go back up. This doesn't mean I'm just going to stay with this trade. Eventually, I'll probably start selling some calls because I don't think it's going to go to like 70 bucks. I think maybe $3 or $4 is what it has left. Just not sure what I'm going to do yet. Also, the FOMC announcement is today at in 45 minutes. So, who knows? That could like pretty much change everything, and Facebook could be down like $1 before I know it. So for now, it's worked out, but in the end, we'll see how it goes. So I was looking at NDAQ, and I wanted to show you guys a trade here. Oops. It's in June. So somebody was buying these yesterday, right? So I wanted to kind of see this bar right here. I'll go to the charts tab. I click on the bar itself. So people are loading up on these June 35 calls. It was pretty curious why they were, but just so they were doing the order flow was giving me an indication. I was kind of thinking that NDAQ, the NASDAQ, I should put it up here, might have bottomed out a little bit. So you see how like it tried to sell off here, and basically it kind of was consolidating. And while it was consolidating, I was thinking like it was going to go up. Those guys came in and bought all those calls. So I wasn't able to do it yesterday, but I have my bid in there right now. So you see this thing right here. I'm 225 bid, and right now it's 235, 265. So most likely, I'm not gonna get it, right? So I have this working order, but look, most likely for 3-lot, I'm not gonna get any of that stuff, right? So so that's that. But I think I'm relatively bullish on the stock for short term, just because it had a nice like technical action, right? So let me go to Micron. So as you guys know, I'm still long Micron, and every day I kind of check the order flow. And today, what was curious was they're buying the May 26 calls a bunch of times. So let me actually go to that one. Right, so they bought this pretty much 18,000 times. I look at the stats, it's at the 20th percentile. I look at the chart and it looks pretty bullish, right? So I have calls in Micron already, so I'm not going to do anything, but if I didn't, I might be tempted to buy those calls that these guys just bought, right? These May 26 calls for whatever price. Right now, I think, yeah, the 79 cents. And what were people paying? They were paying, yeah, 63, 74, 75. So they were paying. And let me actually go to. So what you guys can do is you can actually go to that strike right there, click on it. It'll give you all the latest on that strike. If you click it again, you see how it's 9:30. So basically, I'll tell you every trade that happened. If it's green, it traded on the offer. If it's red, it traded on the bid. And if it's white, it traded in between. So basically, what I do is then I try to track. So you see how people are buying. These were traded in between, but essentially they were paying the same price as the offer. Then they just became the bid. Somebody hit the bid. So to me, like this just looks like accumulation, right? It does not look like sell. So like even some of these, like this is the only one that actually looks like kind of a sell. But you know that was. Then somebody came in and lifted 3,000 for 75, and ever since then, people are just buying, right? So they're still buying. If I didn't have anything, I probably would be interested in maybe buying some of these. Now, the thing that you do have to take into account is these are out of the money, so they're just going to be all premium. So there is risk in terms of like, you know, if Micron doesn't move for a couple of days, you're going to lose, right? So you have to keep Micron moving up for you to make money, or just to even break even. It has to go up at least a little bit a day. But what this does is, for me, it makes me confident about these two calls that I have and makes me continue having those calls, right? So if, let's say this was happening and everyone was selling these calls right here that this guy bought for 287, then I might be inclined to sell them as well. But since people are like piling on and buying more calls, really gives me no reason to like exit, right? Let me go to HST because I saw the block trade. So this is Hotel Resorts Inc. And you see how 12,000 of these trades. So they're gonna have earnings. Looks like tomorrow before market. I actually should have saved this for the earnings. So I'll probably cover this for the earnings report as well. I actually didn't know it had earnings, but yeah, so it looks like they're buying all these calls. And same thing, I click on it. You see all these 22 calls being lifted for 15 cents. Then that became the bid until somebody hit it. They keep lifting it for 15, right? And then this is actually a real sell. Looks like somebody sold it for a dime, and then basically back to buying, right? Until now. So people are buying those. What's curious is, you know, it's before earnings. There's not that much open interest. This open interest kind of is curious to me right here. I want to see when they established it. So it's April 16th. April 16th is when they did this trade. So I closed that. So I got that by clicking on the middle of the strike, right? I found out that April 16th is where this block trade happened, or this open interest was created. I go to the chart, and it's most likely this one. But let me actually go to it. Yeah, April 16th. I click on it. I click on the bar, and then you see all the trades that happened, right? So I'm going to look at it real quick here. 93.42. So it looks like somebody bought the April 20, sold the May 21s. April 20, May 20. And let me actually go to this one. So they did a bunch in April 20s, and then they did a May 21s for 42. Bear with me here. I'm actually doing this right now. So it looks like they actually sold these, right? So they sold those, and looks like they're buying these. So, you know, I mean, I don't know, because it would look like it was a spread, but in either case, like, this is not reinforcing this, right? So what would have been nice would have been if this was all buys for a lower price and he made money, and then now somebody else is doubling up. Could be even the same guy, but basically to see the direction. But it looks like this was a roll and a sell. So the fact that they're buying this seems a little odd. Maybe they sold this thinking it wasn't going to go anywhere, and now they're buying these to kind of hedge these, right? But whatever the case, nothing is obvious, right? They have earnings coming up, so this could be more, if anything, protection. If you look at the IV30, it's pretty low, right? It's pretty low, and let me check here. Yeah, so basically it's expecting a 2.4% move. That's what the options are saying. And I guess historically it's moved about 2% in the last 12 earnings on the average. So, but you can see these heavy calls. Really nothing much to do. If you guys do trade Host Hotels and Resorts Inc. and know something about it, this might be of interest. To me, it doesn't really mean too much. So I had some guests here last week, and they told me that I should sell this put spread in UVXY, and the whole idea was that I sell it for around 130, and I try to find stuff that's you know, like a month out or so, right? Maybe a little bit more than a month. So that's what I did. I found this. I sold the spread, and I did it because you know, I believe what those guys were saying correct. You pretty much put it on every time the VIX falls below 14, and then you close it once you made half the profit. So I don't know what I sold it for. Let me actually see in trades. Yeah, so I sold it for 136, and then I'm gonna try to close it for, I guess, like 68 cents or something. The truth is, though, I don't actually know if I'm doing this correctly. Exactly, I'm just kind of going by what they told me. I'm gonna try it out. So that's me. and I like this because it's you're getting premium, right? See how I'm always telling you guys that I'm trying to get premium, but I don't know how to do it on a Reg T account. So this could be one way where I can do it, and then I can take my shots like in Micron, right? And in Facebook. So that's that. EXC, you guys know who've been following me. I did this spread because this person did this huge roll, and today it was announced that they bought somebody, right, which took the stock down, and it's right at the $34 range. So this will be curious to me whether people are closing this position or opening it, right? I'm not sure. This looks like buying mostly, so it seems like they're opening, but who knows for real, right? So tomorrow, if this open interest goes to like 13, then I know people are buying. If it goes back to 7, then I know people are closing, right? So it was kind of interesting because it didn't look like it was going to go down for a while. So if I put it on, and it was basically up. Never mind. It had earnings. It has earnings today. So you guys can see how much I actually pay attention to some of these stocks. It probably is down because of earnings, even though maybe part of it is the acquisition. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. This guy did this a ton of times, so if he's correct, I definitely will be looking for him to kind of guide me on the next move. So if he actually ends up winning money on this trade, I'll probably look at him for kind of like in the future and keep an eye on it, right? That's kind of how you like start developing some strategy. So also, just want to let you know I did do a trade in SPY, but basically it has it's almost like just a day trade and has nothing to do with the software. Just want to let you guys know I bought 10 of these. And I'm just going to keep it for the day. And basically, I did it because I did it like I think, not sure exactly when I did it. I might have done it like right around here. Yeah, I think I did it right here. As soon as like it became positive, I did it because it looked like it was bullish. There was like some pretty bad news on the GDP. And it didn't seem like it affected the market, so they tried to sell off, but it recovered, which made me think like it's strong. But in the end, I think this is still like not definite until in 30 minutes from now when they announced when the FOMC meeting gets underway. So that's that. So that's all for what I have. Everything else is pretty much static to what I had before. I wish I had more in my account so I can trade more, but I'm pretty much like I had about 5,000, a little bit more left today, so I'll probably use that up, and then I'll have to get out of the SPY to be able to do more trading. But in the end, like I'm trying to make some money. Apple, as you know, I have the spread. Pretty much maxed out on that spread because my short is the 540 levels. So I did pretty well there. Wish that Apple moved like, 2 weeks ago when I had those calls, but it is what it is. I know I whined about it last time, so bear with me. I tend to kind of rehash those things. And then the other stuff is pretty much still the same. I kind of highlighted the ones that kind of made sense. And made any real difference. So that's about it. I'll be back shortly with the earnings report, and I'm probably going to talk about the HST as well. Also, I'm going to talk about this stock. Wait a minute, working. I'm trying to do this stock in SFY. I haven't gotten filled yet, but I'll explain it on my next segment. So hope your trading goes well. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.